Donald Trump just made a change that gives banks even more power over your wallet.
The overdraft fees are a profit engine for big banks that charge them.
On average, it costs them about $5.
And most people have no idea it even happened.
Congress voted today to undo protections against bank overdraft fees.
To end that $5 limit, allow banks to charge essentially whatever they want for those overdraft fees.
Let's say you were checking out at the grocery store with $20 in your checking account, but your bill comes out to be $20.05. You can still walk out groceries in hand and completely paid for, but that extra 5 cents could cost you around $35.
In this video, I'm going to break down 5 things you need to know right now, including what you can do about it. If you've ever paid an overdraft fee or filed a complaint against the bank and felt like they ignored you, then this video is going to hit home. Number 1, what just happened? Okay, let's go ahead and start with the basics. All right. So President Trump recently nullified a rule from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Yeah, remember them? That was the agency. They're still around, but they haven't been really fighting as many financial institutions. But either way, this rule was designed to protect you from unfair bank practices through something called arbitration. Now, I know arbitration sounds like a boring legal term, but here's what it really means. Arbitration is what banks use instead of letting you sue them, okay? So in short, if your bank wrongfully charges you a fee, if they open up an account in your name, we saw that a lot with Wells Fargo back in the day, or if they deny your claim, you can't take them to court. Instead, you have to settle the issue through private arbitration, where the bank chooses the judge, they choose the terms, and of course, they choose how the entire process goes. So for example, let's say your bank hits you with multiple overdraft fees in, let's say, an error, and it was 100% their fault. You try to call them, they give you the runaround, and you think, you know what, I'll just take them to court. I'll sue them. Nope. You're going to be forced into arbitration. And that's where banks usually win in that type of setup, okay? So the rule that just got reversed was going to allow groups of people to file class action lawsuits against banks, okay? That gave regular people like you and me a chance to fight back. But with Trump's latest move, that's off the table again. Number 2, Trump's history with banks. This isn't the first time that this has happened, okay? Back during Trump's first term, his administration rolled back similar Consumer Financial Protection Bureau protections, which was making it easier for banks, lenders, and even payday loan companies to operate with fewer restrictions. Now, just like before, banks are back in the driver's seat, and the people who end up paying the price are usually the ones with the least money to lose. Number 3, overdraft fee rules have been rolled back as well.
Congress voted today to undo protections against bank overdraft fees.
The Biden administration had limited overdraft fees to just $5. That was back in December. Channel 2 consumer investigator Justin Gray live now in downtown Atlanta. And Justin, the House overturned that today.
Yeah, George, this was a party line vote. All Republicans but one, and no Democrats voting to remove those limits on overdraft fees. Banks and their advocates here at the Georgia Banking Association have argued that without removing these limits, they might do away with overdraft fees for some customers.
Sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 20, sometimes it's 35. It depends on how much you go over.
Twala Clifton says those pricey overdraft fees make moments when money is tightest even worse.
You have to worry about the extra money coming out your banking account, and then you have to pay that back. So I think it's wrong.
In December, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau stepped in with help. A new rule limiting big banks to only $5 for overdraft fees.
But it doesn't stop there.
On average, it costs them about $5.
Liz Coyle from the consumer advocacy group Georgia Watch says overdraft fees are a profit engine for big banks that charge them.
This would save the average American who has this problem about $225 a year. Why do the banks need to make so much money off of the people who are really struggling just to meet their basic expenses?
So since the Senate had already voted to revoke this, all it needs is the president's signature to become law, and to end that $5 limit, allow banks to charge essentially whatever they want for those overdraft fees.
Along with the arbitration reversal, Trump's rollbacks also hit overdraft protection. The Biden-era Consumer Financial Protection Bureau had proposed a rule that would limit how much banks could charge in overdraft fees, and that was capping them as low as $3 per transaction. Right now, banks can charge up to $35 per overdraft, and they can charge you multiple times in a day. Let's be honest, that can add up quickly, especially if you live paycheck to paycheck. Let me give you an example. Let's say, for example, you swipe your debit card 3 times on a Friday, thinking that your paycheck hit. Each swipe is going to be $6, right? But you didn't realize that your account was negative, and now you have over 3 overdraft fees. And let's say, for example, they're at $35 a fee. That's $105 in fees on $18 worth of purchases. So in short, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau tried to stop that. Trump's reversal makes sure that that cap doesn't go into effect. So yes, banks can keep charging you full price for these fees. Now listen, this is exactly why it's important to stay ahead of your credit and your finances. If you haven't already done so, be sure to grab my free credit guide today. It walks you through the steps to start improving your credit score right away so you don't have to worry about paying high interest, all right? All you have to do is scan the QR code right here on your screen or click the link in the description below. Number 4, why this should concern you. So why should you even be worried about all of these changes? Let me break it down. Because these changes don't just affect people that's in trouble. They affect everyone that has a bank account. So if you have a checking account, if you have multiple bank accounts, this is going to affect you. Most people don't read the fine print. They don't even think what would happen if a bank makes a mistake. They don't think that once they sign up that they agree to give up their rights to sue. You will also agree to fees. You agree to terms that can be changed without your permission. And now, without these protections, you have even fewer tools to fight back. Number 5, and this is the most important, what can you do about this right now? Let me break down a few things that you can do right now. Number 1, know your bank's overdraft policy. Some banks offer courtesy overdrafts, which means that even if you have an overdraft, they actually may reimburse you. And then others may charge fees instantly, okay? So call your bank and ask them what triggers a fee and how they notify you. That way you won't have to worry about constantly adding up these fees over time. Number 2, ask about opting out. Some banks will let you opt out of overdraft altogether. Your card just gets declined instead. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, Calvin, I don't want to be declined. That's better than paying $35 for a $4 cup of coffee. Check your bank's arbitration clause, okay? Now, this is how you do this. You read your terms or ask customer service. If it says binding arbitration, then you've basically agreed not to sue. Now, another option that's always on the table is considering switching banks or credit unions that don't require forced arbitration. Number 4, and everyone should be doing this anyway, and that's building up an emergency cash fund, okay? Even if it's a small, $100 that you have to the side, that's going to protect you from overdraft charges as well. If you want to keep learning about how to protect your credit, your money, and your peace of mind, watch this next video right here on the screen. I'll see you there.